there we go. All right, so 3, 2, and 1. Well, Jami and everybody else, first off, Jami, welcome to Mayor's Monday, WSAU, WSAU.com. You're not a mayor per se. You serve at the pleasure of the board, though. The board is elected. That's how we get around this. So, no pressure. But yeah, first off, tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to Weston.
Yes. So I've been with the Village of Weston since November 27th. Was excited for the opportunity to come here. Most recently, I was in the town of Rome in the most northern part of Adams County as their administrator for 5 years. So, and previous to that, have served in roles in Stevens Point, had worked for county executive and a mayor in the city and county of Portage. So
Sure.
City of Stevens Point and county.
Okay, so then how's your golf game? Since you were in Rome. Yes. Your golf game must be excellent.
No, I would not say that it is excellent. I bet Michael could still give me lots of pointers on my golf game.
Anybody here want to help her out? There you go. But yeah, go ahead and introduce who you have with us here today.
Well, I'll actually let them introduce themselves.
Sure. All right.
So I'm Michael Wodolski. I'm the Director of Public Works and Utilities here at the Village of Weston. I've been with the village for almost 14 years and been the Public Works Director since 2019.
Yes. And then Jennifer, we have bothered you before, I believe, but still give us a reminder who you are. Yes.
I'm Jennifer Higgins. I'm the Planning and Development Director here at the Village of Weston. I will have been here for 21 years come May, so I've been here quite a bit. Seen lots of the progress that's gone on here.
Yeah, indeed, and that's kind of where we wanted to start. Again, Jami, you being relatively new in this position, but I'm sure once you got here, you kind of saw that there's a lot of stuff that's been backed up and ready to launch here in Weston in the last few years. I mean, just look at the number of new restaurants and establishments that we've seen down Schofield Avenue. That's probably something that was attractive to you when you were taking this job, right?
There's a lot of great development in the area, and coming from a community that was smaller, it's exciting just to see that growth. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, what are these projects then that you saw when you came here? Were you most excited about?
Well, Amazon had just recently been announced when I had accepted the position, so that's a big addition to the community. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then so Jami, where are we at then on, Jennifer, where are we on Amazon coming in here?
It's under construction, so they're just kind of working through their inspections. You won't see a lot going on outside anymore. With the good weather, they kind of got all the outside work done the last few months, and they're on track to open probably early summer.
And that's something that I know a lot of people had their ears perk up when they heard Amazon. You're imagining just a massive, warehouse and people and robots going all about fulfilling orders. That's not exactly what we have coming here, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. What is it?
So they call it the last line or the last delivery line. So essentially, this will be where they will distribute the last line of packages. So they'll bring them in here, and then they will have a bunch of vans that will take them and deliver them all the way, I'm guessing, all the way up to the Northwoods too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and what is this project bringing then, and why is it going to be such a big asset to the village?
well, it is bringing in some jobs, but we should see some other things that happen along that corridor, that interchange area that we probably wouldn't have seen without them coming. So you could see some future development going on there as soon as they open up, because there'll be a little bit more traffic. We did have a study that was done, so a lot of their times that they're doing things are outside of the times that the average public would be kind of taking and using those roads. So,
So I guess what I'm hearing there is, you bring something like that there, and then people need a spot to stop and grab a coffee before they go to work, or they need to maybe fill up the gas tank. So something like a restaurant, something like a gas station would likely be what follows. Is that correct?
correct. And there's a lot of available space that has been put in many years ago where the Arby's is currently. So there's space for that kind of development, and we're actually looking at our future land use maps to kind of change things up. The last time we did that, we were looking at some other types of developments along the Weston Avenue corridor. So now we're going to be looking at maybe having a mix of retail and industrial that you'll kind of see that comes along with a distribution center like this.
Mm-hmm. And again, the jobs that go with that, again, is a big factor as well, right?
Correct, yes.
Yeah, so then, Jamie, when you see something like this and you see the plans, what is your role then as far as making the village an attractive place? Or is that something that's, entirely on Jennifer, not to put the pressure on her, but on the spot?
Well, the village recently did a strategic plan, and having sustainable and smart growth was a part of that strategic plan, in addition to community engagement. And I think it kind of ties together. We want people to come to the area, to visit the area, to like visiting the area and see themselves living here and then see themselves working here, right? So opportunities like this just help that process and help developers see us as a place where people can really live, work, and play.
And again, a place that's where they can live, work, and play, and of course get the the benefits that come with that. Obviously, there's something that you've got to juggle there. Tax increment financing, putting together incentive packages for businesses. That's also something that needs to be thought of in the process, because that's part of the game today, for better or worse, right?
Yeah, and through our TIF developments, the village has a process in place through both TIF 1 and TIF 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. And again, that's part of your learning on the fly, I'm guessing, right? So, and then of course, when they get here, they got to have all the good roads, the good water to drink, and things like that. That's where Public Works comes in. So, give us an idea then of where we're at in that sector.
Yeah, so I guess as part of the comprehensive plan, we had identified the Weston Avenue corridor as kind of the future growth area of the village south of the highway there. So last year we reconstructed and extended water sewer utilities in between the Ryan Street and County Road J portion of the corridor. This next year, 2 years, we'll conclude that from Camp Phillips Road all the way back out to Highway or Ryan Street. So we'll have sites, utilities ready. Historically, probably 15-20 years ago, there was a couple proposed developments that didn't end up coming to fruition, mainly due to the cost of extending water and sewer services for those. So by putting that in, by reconstructing the road, that land will become a lot more readily available for development.
Mm-hmm.
If property owners choose to go that route. And
I believe shovel ready is the term. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, we own the utilities, the road. If the land is shovel ready, that's up to the private landowners.
Sure.
But and then from the water side, a lot of it was looping, getting rid of dead ends. The business park on the south side of the highway was a lot of dead end mains, so we wanted to loop that so there's more better flow, better capacity. So if there is a high water user or other type of customers like that, they can be rest assured that they have plenty of water at their disposal. I know that was a question Amazon needed an answer to right away.
Sure. And I also know that you guys have been dealing with the PFAS issue just like everybody else these days. Tell us, what the village has done to take care of that, and do you have any future mitigation strategies in place right now?
Yep, yeah, so we currently, all of our wells that are up and running are under the 20 parts per trillion limit set by the Department of Health Services. We have implemented a temporary ion exchange unit in our water treatment plant for one of our wells, well number 4. We have a safe drinking water loan coming from the DNR for this coming year for just a little over $3.1 million to put in a permanent granular activated carbon system. That'll treat both wells 3 and 4 in the future. We have 2 wells just down the road here on Camp Phillips Road at Yellow Banks Park. They'll be coming online in February. Those wells are both under 2 parts per trillion, or almost non-detect levels of PFOA, PFOS. So they meet the the proposed EPA limits of 4 parts per trillion or less for those chemicals. So.
Yeah, and that's obviously the goal in Wausau. We're going to complete non-detect levels. Is that what you're trying to get to, or as close to it as possible as well?
Correct. Yeah. So any treatment would be at non-detect levels that we'd be looking to achieve. We have one well that's currently running that is at non-detect. It's never had a detection of those chemicals in it, and we have 2 other wells that are right around the 5-6 parts per trillion. So they seem to fluctuate a little bit based on the time of year. Might just be the amount of water that's pumped and where it's drawing from, but those 2 likely would be turned off in the near future until we get probably a treatment for them as well. They're also wells that were slated for iron manganese removal
Sure.
about 5 years ago when we updated our water master plan. So I guess luckily for us, our system, it doesn't all go to one centralized treatment facility. We have I guess at least 8 wells now kind of around the village. So.
And then, just on PFAS in general, this is something that obviously we've all learned about on the fly in the last couple of years. How much have you had to learn about it? And I guess for Jami as well, how much has this been on the village's radar the last couple of years, and how much has this been something that you're talking about?
Yeah, so PFAS kind of started, I don't know, 6-7 years ago with the UCMR 3 testing that was required for water utilities. Went to conferences back in 2017, 2018, kind of talking about the emergence of them and what that maybe looks like moving forward. And at that point, the 80 parts per trillion was being used, and some of the data results we had back then showed we were under 80 parts per trillion. So all good, right? We were under the limits. And then in 2022, that started changing with remountain testing and finding what they were at, and we retested. We were still under 80, but now 20 was the new number that you're supposed to meet. So it's been I guess a long learning curve to a certain extent, and also a very quick one to understand how can we how do we mitigate it, what can we do to remove it, and understanding the health impacts and what that means. So as a water utility, our goal is to always tell people we are providing them safe drinking water. It's not just bacteriologically safe, but we also want it to be safe for them for long-term health. So
yeah, absolutely. And then I guess the $1 million question then obviously is how have the water rates been over here? Have you been able to hold them steady, or are you looking at, once some of these things do get online, possibly a jump in the future?
Yeah, we've had a couple simplified water rate increases. Our last one was 8% in 2023. I believe in 2022 we had a 4 or 5%. I don't remember off the top of my head, but luckily, I guess a lot of this was planned future projects. Like I mentioned, we had iron manganese removal plan for 3 of our wells in our master plan. So we kind of have that budgeted in. We had that built into our rates to a certain extent where we knew we were taking on those projects. So adding PFAS to it isn't I guess a major additional expense. It's a small incremental cost. So for well 4, that was the only one that we didn't have identified, but we are getting, like I said, the $3.1 million in principal forgiveness from the DNRs that should offset most of the cost of that project. So hopefully we won't really be seeing a huge, or if much, of a water increase here.
But the rate case study for that could be coming down the road. It's not something you drill out right now.
Correct. I mean, we just put in 2 new wells, like I said, that aren't on, that are below any PFAS action levels. They're high quality, no iron, no manganese. So we can also, if we need to shut down a well or 2 right now so that we can, wait a little bit before we go and take on additional capital projects, we can.
Yeah, good flexibility to have.
Correct.
There, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, one more thing before we let you go then, Jami, what is something that we're looking forward to in Weston here in the new year? I know there's a few projects that are in various stages. I know you're still looking to offload the former Village Hall site on Schofield Avenue. That's something that's coming. Is there anything else that people should be watching for?
Yeah, certainly we'll see some continued conversations about 5500 Schofield Avenue on the village board meetings. Certainly with the coming online of the new wells, we hope to do a ribbon cutting for those. There's going to be other developments that I'm sure will come forth in this year, and that will be through our plan commission and then onto the village board. And then we're just looking to continue some really nice community engagement pieces. I think we are going to try and do an I Voted sticker contest for the fall election this year. We're going to have some new pieces in our newsletter that'll come out in March to encourage some community engagement, and doing some additional outreach to our area businesses. So 2024 will be a great year.
All right, awesome. Well, we appreciate the time, everyone. I've never had to interview 3 people at once like this before, so this is something new. But it's good to know that we can make it work, just in case. And it's obviously appreciate the time and being able to tell the story of what's going on here in Weston.
Thank you.
Thank you.